fresh meat.
I'm Gimli. Let's break Diablo 2 down to the pixel. In this part of the video, I wanna go a bit more in detail about WinDS1 Edit. So this is another tool, which is the main tool for our map making. And I will demonstrate it, what settings you need to prepare. And after that, you will see some more in details how to check out what graphics you need to load and where you can find all the details. Let's check it out. First of all, you need to grab this tool. You can get it from my GitHub or the link in the description below. If you have this up and something extracted, you should run this loader first, and then we need to configure it. We say yes. The first part is you need to select your WinDS1 exe file. So this is the main file it gonna triggers, and you can see this map list file below, which comes already with it. And we can also see there's a new entry called new map because I already added a new demonstration map in this package as well. All right, so the loader is up and we need to set some editor configurations as well. In here we need to select the main game files. So we do so, just select your install directory, and then the first one will be D2 char mpq, and the other ones usually in the same folder, so you just copy paste them in here. And the mod directory will be our Project D2, so we need to select this again. That's important. If you edit some maps and graphics, it will check this mod directory for the data folder, and there we need to put all the graphics and tiles in there that the editor can use it and run with it. Alright, as next point, the screen size can be adjusted. I always mix and match what my current desktop is using and to feel comfortable working with. So in this case I just set it by 160 and 800. No, nothing else needs to be changed, and let's say OK. And now you could run already the first map. Like I said, I had added already a new map folder in here, and you can find a new map and a graphic file. So that's pretty the basics what you're gonna need for a map. To work with this MPQ editor, there's documentations in here, so make sure to read them carefully. So all the hotkeys are a bit specified and what does it mean and how they are working. So check this out. And on the other hand, I already prepared a package which is on my repository on GitHub, which is called PD2 map making. So there's also a description how this is work, how you need to install and use it. And then you can also download this as zip for now and extract it. And I've also downloaded as well in here. So just extract it. And as I called already, put this in your Project D2 folder. So we copy this data folder, going to our Project D2 folder and paste it in here, and maybe override it if there are already existing files, whatever. So in here, data, global, Excel, some files, and tiles are as well the new map with these files. This is an already prepared setup for you that you can use for running and testing maps pretty early already, so you don't need to set this up on your own. So we don't need this anymore. And in here it's the same files. So, and like I said, I prepared already this map list. In this map list you can find all the maps from the original game and what they are linking to. And at the end you can find the new map which links to expansion map, and we having some more values in here, and let's talk about them because they are important if you want to know what kind of files you need to edit or run later on your maps. For this purposing, I'm using the Halls of Torture index, so they are pretty great. How to find them? You need to check out the text files of the game which are extracted. So you can usually find them on your extracted parts in Data Global Excel. And in here we having the text files called level, level pressed, and level type. And I've already loaded this with our other tool, AFJ Sheet Editor. And we can see in levels.txt there's the Halls of Torture map. And we have, if you scroll a little bit to the right, we have this level type column. And the level type column is calling for 42. And when we go into level pressed, we can see there's an index 42, the ID. And for this ID, the map is gonna load this 4 files into it as graphic files. And it also needs to know what is the level ID. And when we go to level pressed.txt and scroll down a little bit, we can see Halls of Torture got 1148. And this are the values our map list is using. So let me check it out again. We can see 42 as which graphics needs to be loaded and what is the ID of the map. So this is kind of how it works with the text files. If you want to use some of the original game files, just make sure to check it out. What is the DS1 file? And it's always linking to another level type ID and as well as the level pressed ID. So check this out if you want to use some of them. All right. So this is already pre-set up. So the easy part is already just go into this new map and drag and drop this in, and you can see already there's some stuff pre-set up. If you don't get this, you need to specify this on your own and create a new entry on your map list. But yeah, this is how you use it. And to load it up, you can also set some parameters. Because this is already a setup map which is 150 by 150 in size. This is also later important for your finished map. You can also find this in levels.txt. That's pretty important. So the Halls of Torture map got 149 by 149. That's one less, but that's the value from the map editor. So we have to put this in here, otherwise your map doesn't work and it will not run. If you have to resize this given preset map, you can do it one time, just click resize and then giving the values, like I said, maybe 200 by 150 and something like that. And then you run this file and it will resize the map automatically. You need to do this only one time, and after the resize, just save it. And every time you load it up, it already got the new value. So you don't need this permanent, so only a one-time feature in here. But for testing purpose, we don't need it because it's already in a good size. Then you can force DT1 files in here. So usually it will use the ones specified in the text file. And if you want to force your own graphic files, maybe you created a new one or whatever, you can click this and then set up this list and add the files. So you just choose them in here and said okay. And so this graphic tiles will be as well permanently forced loaded with your map, and you can use it there. Later on, you need to copy this file in the right position, and then as well in the text files linking them, so you don't miss out them on the later map. Okay, the part you can just make it run. This will work, or you can also make a batch file because every time you restart this loader, you have to specify and force your DT1s again. And to make life easier, you can, even if you have more DT1 files, like 4, 5, or 6 or whatever, you don't have to do this manually each time. So you can also make a batch file and just call it start editing. And in here, a new batch file is created. And if you check it out, you can see, okay, this triggers the map editor, and then calling the new map and then forcing the files we gonna load up in enforcement, and then makes out some debug text file if you want to. And you don't have to run this again, so you can directly run this by starting this batch file. And for testing purpose, this is a pretty big map, but it's kind of empty. I just added some corner floor titles that you can see what are the size, and calling it by size. If you go to the farthest bottom line, you can see on the left cell 149, 149. So this is the size of the map, and if you resize it, you're getting other values in here. But this value is important because we need it in the text files, otherwise your map won't run. Okay, what is also important, I've added some basic features in here. So we're having a map entry tile. So if you do right click, you have some special wall tiles in here. And if you scroll down a little bit, you're having this map entry number 76. And there's also an object next to it. So if you hit tab, you can see there's a waypoint wilderness, which is the current waypoint of Halls of Torture. So you're having different types of objects you can add in the editor, and for this purpose we're using type 2 act 5, and then this is the waypoint wilderness 3 in this case, because this is used for Halls of Torture as entry point for our red portal there. So hit OK, or in this case it's already in there, so we can skip it. There's also the original map boss, so that's Gimli from Halls of Torture in here as well. This is just for testing purpose. Later, if you create your own map boss, for example, you can use this as reference, and from that point out get your own map boss starting, but that's an advanced feature at the end. But in here, it's already included. So if you want to have fun on testing and just kill Gimli, or he kills you, or if you don't like it, you can also select it and then just remove it, whatever you prefer. So with the hotkeys, you need to check out the documentation. It's all pretty good explained. So make sure to check it out. If you want to save something, you just hit Control S. And you're asking, and let's say it has been saved. And to get out of the editor, just hit Escape, and then you can see save all and quit, or just quit. So, but I would suggest saving in between, because when you hit quit, you can see now that we're having our new map file, which the same file name again. And it always creates a backup of the old version when you hit save, so you can always go a step backwards and check it out. Alright, that's it for the main tool and how to run this. In another feature, you can also use this to set up, to load up some more other maps in here. So you kind of create your own palette. So for example, when you're using already existing maps or parts of them, you can copy paste them in the editor in your map and create a second one. So you're having a map full of walls, floors, whatever, and then you just copy paste it from one map into another map. And to do so, let's take an example, and we are going for, let's call it some arcane stuff. So we're going to our extracted titles, Act 2, Arcane, yeah, Sanctuary East. That will do. And we need to check out what this is using. So we are having to check the existing map list, I guess. And it was Sanctuary East. And it's using Act 2 Arcane, and the ID is 19. And when we check out the file again, the level type again, we scroll up to the 19 and we can see, okay, it loads Act 2 Arcane Sanctuary and Act 1 Outdoor blank and nothing else. And my suggestion is always going with the Act 0 titles. So in this case, we are going into our Act 0 global titles, Act 2 Arcane Sanctuary. And as well in Act 1 Outdoor blank. Alright, so this will be the graphics that we need to load to work with them. But for just copy-paste purpose, it's not needed. So we can just drag it in here and then make the map running. And so it runs the first map. It's still the original testing map, but with hitting 2, we are switching to the other map we added now, and you can see, okay, that's an part of Arcane's, and for example, you just can select all of them and copy, and when you hit 1, you will get back to your map again, and you can just select an empty space in between and hit OK. And then you can see, okay, some graphics are not loaded, and some floor titles are using existing ones, but we will get into that in a second. So we just hit save and get out of it. And now we can remove this example again, and we need to edit this, and we need to force to load the newly edited blank and sanctuary again. And then we need to run this new map again. And now we can see that all the graphics we are copy pasted are now in here as well, because they are in these force DT1 files. And we can also see that some floor titles are getting overwritten. That's because if you check the floor index, you can see index is 0, and the Act 2 Arcane's floors using the same index 0. So and this is also be used by our map already, and so this is a short use case where you need to change your used floor for the indexes, for example, but you can also see you can use other indexes what are using them, so maybe try to don't mix and match them, so give it an independent index on editing the graphic files for a later use. Or on the other hand, maybe if it looks cool, keep it like that, so whatever you prefer, but this is just an issue you need to address, because like I said, this will be replaced in a kind of group, and it's randomly used then for map making purposes. Alright, so that's for explanation. I hope you enjoyed this a little bit and get into deeper map making. But these are the basics for this editor, and we go into more detail in other tools soon.